The Federal Emergency Management Agency is standing by to help with whatever Hurricane Lee might bring to Maine.
FEMA officials say they're coordinating with a dozen other federal agencies, as well as those here in the state, to be at the ready tomorrow and going forward. They say the best thing Mainers can do at this time is prepare themselves, their families, and their property. President Biden has already approved an emergency declaration for Maine, which provides some federal assistance. Depending on how bad Hurricane Lee hits Maine, more aid could come.
As soon as it's safe, we'll begin to help local governments, working with the state in understanding what the needs are, and then being able to call on our federal partners to meet those needs. And certainly, if the president declares a national disaster with individual assistance and public assistance, then those processes will kick in. But we really need to wait and see what the severity of the storm is first, what kind of damage.
You can go to ready.gov to see a full list of hurricane preparation tips.